So good morning, and thanks a million for joining me on the yoga mat this morning. This week's focus is on those lovely happy hips. So we're going to be creating a little bit of space into the whole hip complex. We're also going to be creating a lot of engagement into the muscles that create stability to our hips. And we're going to pay particular focus to the hamstrings, lower back kind of area as well. So if the hips are really tight, chances are they're going to be pulling on the hamstrings, they're going to be compressing into the lower back. So I want you to be really mindful of that area in the body this morning, just kind of listening to it, listening to how it responds as we work into the hips. So we're going to start in a nice, easy cross-legged seat, sitting as comfortably as we can through the spine, and just notice where the knees are at. So if the knees are quite high, chances are those hip flexors might be a little bit tight. So we're just going to gently flutter the knees toward the ground. So we're not using the hands, just seeing if we can stimulate a little bit of blood flow into those hips before we get started here this morning. And it might make a difference, but just see if they get a little bit closer, and then we're going to come to stillness. So we'll rest the palms on the knees, we relax the shoulders back, and we're going to inhale, press the chest all the way over to the right. Bring it through center all the way over to the left, and as we exhale, tuck the chin. We're going to round between the shoulder blades and continue with your own breath. Nice, full, circular movements. And relax the breath. So ideally in and out through the nose, but particularly at the start of the class, if you feel like sighing the breath out just to release a little bit more, feel free. We're inhaling, taking the gaze forward, and as we exhale, tuck the chin as we look down toward the belly. Nice deep bend into the elbows, rolling into the shoulders, the wrists. Allow the head and neck move freely. See if we can make those circles a little bit larger. And depending on which way those legs are crossed, we're going to feel this a little bit more so in one hip than the other. Feel free to close the eyes and just really engage with the movement. Eventually, we're going to meet back at center. We'll reverse the crisscross of the legs. Palms are rested, and we'll inhale, press the chest all the way over to the left, through center, all the way over to the right. As we exhale, tuck the chin and round. Continue with your own breath. Again, feel free to close the eyes and just really allow yourself go freely with the movement. So again, not holding on to any bit of tension, letting it all go. Sigh it out if it feels better. And just notice how that feels into the opposite hip, how that feels into the lower back. And then finally, we'll meet back at center in the seat. We're going to open the palms to the ceiling, sit nice and tall, and we'll inhale both arms out, reach it up. Interlock fingers, press palms to ceiling. As we exhale, press the palms forward and really stretch between the shoulders. And we'll do that twice more. So a nice big stretch as we get the gaze up. And then exhale, press forward and release. And we'll do that once more. Lovely. We're going to straighten both the legs out in front. Just adjust the sit bones, get nice and comfortable here. Drawing the toes toward the face. We're going to hug the right knee in until the foot's in line with the left. And then we'll shift the sit bones forward to meet the heel. So we're maintaining that lovely length in the spine. Crossing the right leg over the left. We'll extend the left arm forward. We're going to wrap it around the right leg, hugging it tight into the body until we feel that right glute release. If you wish to go deeper, we're going to bend the left knee. Tuck the heel close to the sit bone and really grind that right sit bone down. And then we'll inhale the right arm up, reach. And as we exhale, gently twist to the right. We're going to place the hand on the ground behind us, really close to the lower back. Maybe see if you can walk the hand around the body, almost wanting to touch that left hip on the outer side. So as we inhale, press the hand into the ground. And as we exhale, gently twist, looking over that right shoulder, hugging that right leg into the body. Inhale, creating space in the spine. And then exhale, working into that space. Keep the pose active. So we're not just hanging out here. We're using that inhale to create length in the spine. And then we're working into that space we've just created on the exhale. One more breath. And then slowly inhale back through center, little twist to the left just to release. And then back to center again. If we've got that left heel tucked in, we can walk the right foot out to the left foot a little bit further out to the right. Otherwise, coming into easy cross-legged with the right leg on top. So this is just a little bit more advanced into our shoelace. We're going to draw the toes toward the knees, and wherever we are, whether we're here or in our easy cross-legged, get nice and comfortable into the sit bones. And we're going to inhale both arms out, reaching up. And as we exhale, gently folding over that right leg, reaching through the fingertips, we'll rest the palms to the ground, pressing the ground away, really drawing those sit bones back. Relax the head, relax the neck. And notice as we tuck the chin, we're going to feel that into the whole posterior chain of the body. So we're inhaling, lengthening forward through the crown of the head, and as we exhale, sink the body a little bit deeper into that fold. And don't force it. As we press the ground away, feel that extra bit of space into the lower back. Drawing the belly in, creating a wee bit more space for that fold to happen. We'll take one more breath. And then gently tuck the chin. Slowly walk the hands back toward the body. We're going to straighten that left leg out in front and hug the right knee toward the right armpit. Placing the foot into the left hand, and we're just going to take a few little rocks into that right hip. So similar enough to Tuesday, drawing that right knee back and drawing that right foot across the body, just really feeling that mobilization into the right hip. Not forcing it, just listening, maintaining that lovely length in the spine. And eventually we meet back at center. We're going to rest the ankle just above or just below the knee. Left hand is on the foot, right hand is on the inner knee. Again, we're sitting nice and tall. As we inhale, we're going to press the knee into the hand, and as we exhale, release. Inhale, press the knee into hand. Exhale, release. And continue here with your own breath. So the activation is on the inhale. We're not pressing down on the exhale. So inhale, activate. Exhale, release. We'll do two more. Hopefully create a little bit more space, but also engagement. Last one. Excellent. We're going to bring the hands behind us, fingertips point back, opening into that heart space. We can stay here, working that right knee toward the ground. If the ankle is above the knee and you feel like going a little bit deeper, we can soften the left knee and flatten out that left foot. And if we feel like going deeper again, we can shift the sit bones toward the heel, heel toward the sit bone. Again, making sure we're not collapsing into those shoulders. So nice and open into the heart. See where that left foot is? We want it to be in line with the knee and not tracking off to the center. So as we inhale, lengthen through the spine. And as we exhale, wherever we are, we're pressing that right knee away from us toward the ground. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Continue here with your own breath. And again, you do not have to have that left knee bent. Listening to your own body here and just going as deep as feels good for you this morning. Softly, softly. We'll take two more breaths. One more. Right. We're going to straighten the left leg out, and then we'll bring that right leg out to meet it again. Just the sit bones, get nice and comfortable, drawing the toes toward the face, sitting tall. We'll hug the left knee in until the foot's in line with the right, and then we'll shift those sit bones forward to meet the heel, maintaining that length in the spine. We're going to cross the left leg across the right. Extend the right arm forward, we'll wrap it around the left leg and then hug it tight into the body until we feel that release into the left hip. If we wish to go deeper, we can bend the right knee. Tuck the heel close to the sit bone, but just make sure that left sit bone is firmly grounded. Either way, we're going to inhale the left arm up, reach. And as we exhale, gently twist to the left, we'll place the hand on the ground behind us, really close to the lower back. So we're not collapsing into that left hand. As we inhale, press the hand into the ground, lengthen tall. As we exhale, gently twist. You're looking over the left shoulder, really hugging that left shoulder back. Trying to get the front of the body almost parallel to the side wall. Inhale, lengthening, draw the belly in. Exhale, release and twist. Nice full belly breaths in and out through the nose. Creating as much space as we can. One more. And then slowly inhale back to center. Little twist to the right, just release. and then back to center again. So again, if the right heel is tucked in, we can walk the left foot out to the right foot out to the left as far as we can go. Otherwise, we're coming into easy cross-legged with the left foot on top this time. So if we're in shoelace, ideally we want the joints stacked as much as we can or as close as we can. If it's really uncomfortable, please come into easy cross-legged. Drawing the toes toward the knees. We're sitting nice and tall, get nice and comfortable into the sit bones here. We can stay here. Otherwise, we'll inhale both arms out, reach it up. And as we exhale, gently folding over the left leg this time, reaching forward through the fingertips as far forward as we can go, and then rest the hands. Pressing the ground away, see if we can sink those sit bones back a little bit further. Relax the head, relax the neck, maybe even give it a little shake to remind it to relax. And again, you will feel, as you tuck that chin in, you're going to feel that extra release all down through the neck, the spine, right into the hips. Lengthening on the inhale, releasing, folding on the exhale. And just notice how that feels compared to the other side. Keep pressing the ground away. Keep drawing those sit bones back. Nice, relaxed belly breath. One more here. And then gently tuck the chin. We'll slowly walk the hands back toward the body. If the right heel's tucked in, we'll straighten that right leg out. We're going to hug that left knee toward the armpit, resting the foot into the right hand, knee into the left hand. And again, just gently rocking into that left hip. You can bend the right knee if you need a little bit more stability in your base. So again, just listen to your own body here. And not be afraid to draw that left knee a little bit further back, draw the foot a little bit further across the chest. Try to keep the shin nice and high if you can, so we're getting a little bit of range into the hamstring here too, but not forcing it. So we're just looking at releasing here. There shouldn't be any pain, no pinching, no numbness. Trusting your body, listening, and eventually we'll move back at center. So again, we can rest the ankle just above or just below that right knee. Right hand is on the foot, left hand is on the knee, sit nice and tall. We're going to inhale, press the knee into the hand, and as we exhale, release. So we're inhaling, pressing knee into hand, exhale, release. Continue here with your own breath. Each time, maybe that knee drops a little bit more, maybe it doesn't, so depending on where those hips are at. But we're using a nice activation to enhance that release. Two more. So we can stay here, bring the hands behind us, fingertips point back, pressing into the ground, opening into the heart, and really pressing that left knee toward the ground. Again, this might be more than enough. If you wish to go deeper, you can soften the right knee, flatten out the foot, keep drawing that left toe toward the left knee, so we're keeping the lower leg engaged. That right foot is in line with the knee, and we might draw the sit bone a little bit closer to the heel, heel to the sit bone. Just make sure those sit bones are grounded, and then we're nice and open into the heart. So as we inhale, think about length through the spine. And as we exhale, pressing that left knee away from the body. And just notice here if we find this side might be a little bit stiffer. I know mine is here this morning for some reason. And again, sometimes it's just what we did the previous day or how we slept. It's when that stiffness or that imbalance becomes more regular. We really need to be paying attention, listening, and hopefully just even with a little bit of mobilization, we can iron out the instabilities. Relaxing into the pose, every exhale sinking a little bit deeper, and just really feel that release into the left glute. A little bit into piriformis here. Keep pressing that left knee away. One more breath. Excellent. We'll straighten that right leg out. We're going to straighten the left leg out to meet it. We bring the feet, the knees together, and we're going to come to lie back on our mats. Just make sure you have your block and your strap there within reach. So slowly lowering ourselves down onto the ground. Bringing the arms back overhead, reaching through the fingertips, taking a lovely full body stretch, maybe shifting the hips a little bit side to side, shifting the shoulders, trying to create as much length into the body here. And then coming to stillness, we're going to hug the right knee into the chest, give it a nice little squeeze. Right hand is on the knee, left hand is on the left hip. Notice if the left knee is bent, See if we can press the back of the hamstring toward the ground. If it's still very uncomfortable, you can always fully bend it and stabilize the hip. We're going to draw a few little circles into that right hip, either or both, or either direction. We're going to do both. Again, the fingertip might come to the knee, so those circles get a wee bit larger. Keep that lower back on the ground. And if the hip feels stable, we can bring the right hand to the ground, and we're going to draw those circles a little bit larger again. See if we can incorporate the whole length of that right leg into the movement, so exaggerate the movement. And again, that movement is starting in the hip. Relax the breath and notice if we're bunching into the chest muscles. See if we can relax those shoulder blades together on the ground. So as we straighten the leg, we're pressing away through the heel. We're drawing the knee across the body into the chest, opening as wide as we can into that hip space. And then we're going to reverse those circles, opposite direction. Slow it right down and relax the breath. Notice if we're holding it. Breathing deeply into the belly, feeling that breath mobilize the core, the spine, lifting the diaphragm, opening the chest. And then eventually we're going to hug the right knee back into the chest. We're going to reach for our strap and we're going to wrap it around the ball of the right foot. Tuck the elbows into the waist, so we're going to straighten the right leg up toward the ceiling, draw the toe toward the face. So not going too deep here. We are working a wee bit into the hamstring, but where we want to feel that stretches into the center, the belly, or the fleshy part of the muscle, not behind the knee and definitely not up near the sit bone. And if we're finding it here, either soften the knee or drop the heel a little bit. We can still work into a lower leg stretch and we can still get into the hips. So we're drawing the toe toward the face. So ideally our range for our hamstring is anywhere between 80 and 90 degrees parallel to the ground. We're going to inhale, press ball of the foot into the strap. And as we exhale, draw the toes toward the face. Inhale, press ball of the foot into the strap and point slightly outward to the right. Exhale, toe to face. Inhale, press ball of the foot into the strap, point slightly inwards to the left. Exhale, toe to face, and continue with your own breath. You've got 3 directions there. Relax the shoulders, relax the elbows. So we're working into hamstring, hip. We're getting into those lower leg muscles, engaging and releasing. We're working a little bit of mobility into the ankles and feet. And again, what's happening in the ankles and feet can have a real direct relationship to what's happening into the hips. So it's really important that we address both together. Likewise, if we've any little instabilities into the hips, chances are we'll have a little bit of compensation into those ankles. So again, just really listening to the body here this morning. Relax the breath. And eventually we'll come to stillness. We're going to get the right hand. We'll catch hold of the strap. Left hand rests on the left hip. We're going to exhale the right foot all the way out to the right. We'll bend the right elbow, place it to the ground so we can support that foot in space. And then we're going to look over the left shoulder. So keeping that left side of the body rooted to the ground. As we inhale, press away through the right heel. And as we exhale, allow the hip open a little bit more. Feeling that across the front of the pelvis. Making sure that lower back is stable on the ground. And if we don't feel so stable, feel free at any stage to bend the left knee and flatten out that foot. Try to keep the right foot up in line with the hip. And it's not about the foot touching the ground if it's all the way down in line with the knee. I want you to create that lovely space into the inner hip, into the inner thigh. Pressing away through the heel on the inhale and then exhale, release. We'll take one more breath. And then inhale all the way back to center. We're going to reverse the grip. Left hand catches hold of the strap. Right arm extends out in line with the shoulder, palm down. We're going to shift the hip just a wee bit to the right. And then we'll draw the right leg across the body to the left. And again, notice if we're not fully in the twist, just shift those hips ever so slightly to the right. Foot is up in line with the hip. If this is too much on the hamstring, feel free to soften the right knee and just work into that spinal twist and glute release. Inhale, press away through the heel. Exhale, deepening into that twist. Again, not forcing it. One more breath. And then inhale, back to center. As we exhale, we'll hug the right knee into the chest. We're going to get the right hand to catch hold of the strap. See if we can get the foot parallel or almost parallel to the ceiling. And then we're going to draw the right knee down toward the ground beside us. So it's outside the line of the body. We're going to inhale, press sole of the foot toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, draw the right knee down toward the ground. Continue here with your own breath, pressing up on the inhale, drawing down on the exhale. If we're already quite spacious in the hip, that right elbow might want to pop inside the knee, but don't force it. And we're keeping the pelvis grounded, that lower back grounded. Again, if we don't feel stable into the hips, we can always bend the left knee and flatten out the foot. So what we want to really feel here is energy and release into that right hip. Again, a little bit into the hamstring, so don't force it. Pressing upward and downward, so not inward or outward. That knee is toward the ground beside us. If we can, creating that space, creating that engagement. One more breath. Excellent. We can release the grip. We'll hug the right knee back into the chest, release the strap off to the side. And again, if you don't have a strap, you can use a pillowcase or a towel. Hugging the left knee in, and we're going to straighten that right leg down. Pressing the back of the leg into the ground, right hand rests on the hip, left hand is on the knee, and we draw a few little circles into the left hip. Again, either direction, we'll do both. Maybe fingertips come to the knee, those circles get a wee bit larger. And if the hip feels stable, we can bring the left hand to the ground and draw those circles a little bit larger again, but only if the hip feels stable without the support of the hand. Don't be afraid to keep the hand there to guide the movement. So sometimes if there is a little bit of weakness, or if you're recovering from any hip injuries, it's nice just to have that extra bit of support. So don't be afraid to take it. You can still get that mobilization without stressing out the muscles and joints. Relax the shoulders, relax the breath. If the hand is on the ground, see if we can bring the whole length of that left leg into the movement. So we're pressing away through the heel, we'll draw the knee across the body, into the chest, opening as wide as we can into that hip space. And then we're going to reverse those circles, opposite direction. Nice, full, engaged movement. Relax the shoulders, melting them together on the ground. Relax the breath. And you can notice as you breathe a little bit deeper into the belly, you might feel that a little bit deeper into the hips. So it's all connected. Softening the face, softening the jaw. Focusing all our attention into that left hip space. And eventually we'll hug the left knee back into the chest, give it a nice little squeeze. We're going to reach for our strap again. Again, just making sure you have a nice bit of space either side of your mat. We're wrapping the strap around the ball of the left foot. We're going to straighten the left leg up toward the ceiling, draw the toe toward the face. Allow the elbows come to the ground if our strap is long enough, and melt those shoulder blades together. And again, as we press away through the heel, noticing where we're feeling that into the hamstring. So we're not trying to overstretch into an already lengthened muscle. We're feeling that into the belly of the muscle. We're feeling that into the lower leg, into the calf. So again, adjust that foot wherever feels good. Keeping the foot in the air, we're going to inhale, press ball of the foot into the strap as we point. Exhale, toe to knee. Inhale, press ball of the foot into the strap, pointing slightly outward to the left. Exhale, toe to knee. Inhale, ball of the foot into the strap, pointing slightly inward to the right. Exhale, toe to knee, and continue with your own breath. So again, you've got 3 directions there. This is also a nice one for the sciatic nerve. Creates a little bit of release into the soft tissue around the nerve. Not going too deep. And just notice how this side compares to the other, even noticing how that left ankle is. So as I mentioned, if there's any little instabilities or imbalances within the ankles, again, we're going to probably find them up into the hips, maybe even into the knees. So trying to get to the root cause of those niggles before they become anything more than niggles. Relax the breath, just working with the movement, nice and easy. Exploring that range into the ankle. And then eventually we come to stillness. We're going to get the left hand, catch hold of the strap, Right hand rests on the right hip, and we're going to really keep that side of the body glued to the ground as we exhale the left foot out to the left. We'll bend the left elbow, place it to the ground to support the foot in space, and we're looking over the right shoulder. Again, right shoulder is glued to the ground. As we inhale, press away through the left heel, and as we exhale, allow the hip open a little bit more. So you'll notice here I've got the lovely wall beside me. You can make this pose quite restorative. You can rest the foot against the wall, the couch, a chair. Again, only if you want to hang out there for a little bit longer so that we're not kind of stressing out the muscles and we can just get a nice restorative release. So sometimes it can be nice at the end of the day. We're not going to get much of a physiological response after about half a minute, but it can definitely give us a nice mental restorative release. Softly breathing. One more breath on this side. And then inhale the left leg back up toward the ceiling. We're going to reverse the grip. Right hand catches under the strap, left arm extends out, palm down. We shift the hip a little bit to the left and then draw the left leg across the body to the right, looking over toward the left fingertips. Left shoulder is glued to the ground. Again, if you need to shift the hips a little bit more to the left to get into that twist, we're pressing away through that left heel. And again, if it's too much in the hamstring, feel free to soften the left knee a little bit. We're still working into that glute release. We're still working into that spinal twist. We're just not stressing out the hammy. Inhale, nice full belly breath. And as we exhale, release a little bit deeper into that twist. Keeping that left shoulder glued to the ground. Getting that mobilization the whole length of the spine. One more breath here. And then inhale the left leg back up toward the ceiling. Reverse the grip. Left hand catches hold of the strap. Right hand is on the hip. And we're going to bend that left knee down toward the ground beside us. So outside the line of the body to the left. Sole of the foot parallel to the ceiling. We'll inhale, press up. And as we exhale, draw down. Continue here with your own breath. Again, if the hip doesn't feel stable, feel free to bend the right knee to stabilize. And if the right leg is straight, keep pressing the back of the leg into the ground. So although focus is into that left hip and hamstring, we're still getting a nice little release into the front of the right hip. Noticing the connection between hip and hamstring. So if the hip's tight, we're going to want to bend that right knee. So it's like a working the body as little leverages, and particularly around that hip complex. It's quite a strong part of the body. So again, if it's tilted forward, if the hip flexors are tight, they're going to be pulling on the hamstrings. Again, just pumping a little bit of energy and blood flow into that left hip. I'm going to take one more. Lovely. And release the strap. Hugging the left knee in. We can bring the strap off to the side, hugging both knees into the armpits. See if we can bring the soles of the feet together. And then we can either catch hold of the ankles, we can interlock the fingers around the outer blades of the feet, or if we find we're overreaching, we can get our strap, we can wrap it around the outer edges of the feet and use the strap as a little extension of the arms. And that can be a really nice variation. We're going to gently walk the shoulder blades together, press soles of the feet together and draw those knees away from the body. Inhale, opening into the heart, lengthening through the spine. As we exhale, draw the feet a little bit closer toward us as we press those knees away from the body. A little diamond pose here. Relax the shoulders. And again, only going as deep as feels good for you this morning. Making sure that lower back is planted on the ground. And we're just going to pause here with the breath for 3, for 2, and 1. Gently release the grip. We'll release the strap off to the side. We're going to hug both knees into the chest, crisscross of the ankles. Options to make your way anywhere to seat, or we can rock and roll just the once, bringing ourselves into a nice strong seat at the front of the mat. We'll bring those hands forward out in front. We're going to shift the body weight forward to step back onto the knees, finding ourselves in a lovely strong tabletop, the center of the mat. Shoulders over, elbows over us, elbow creases face forward. Knees are hip width distance apart, hips are over knees. Toes could be tucked or untucked, so whatever feels better for you this morning. We're going to inhale, draw the chest forward as we take the gaze up and arch the spine. Exhale, press into the ground, curl through the spine, take the gaze back to the belly. Inhale, gaze goes forward and up, arching the spine. Exhale, press into the ground, curl through the spine, tuck the chin to the chest, and continue with your own breath. Try to keep those hips high, so we're not sitting back toward the heels, we're not bringing the body too far forward. Focusing that energy on creating as much space between the vertebrae in the spine. So imagining the spine like a string of beads, and we're trying to draw those beads away from each other. Exaggerate the movement. Feel free to close the eyes and just really feel the movement. So again, not getting too caught up with what it looks like. And let ourselves flow into that space. So think about making wave-like motions within the spine. Feel free to sigh the breath if it feels better. We're going to meet in our tabletop. Keeping the left knee grounded, we're going to straighten the right leg behind us. Notice if the belly's collapsed, see if we can draw the belly button in nice and strong. We'll inhale here. And as we exhale, we're going to bring the right foot all the way out to the right. We're going to bring the foot to the ground, pressing the outer blade of the foot into the ground. We're going to tuck the left toe under and gently sit back toward the heel, pressing the ground away as we do. So we're feeling that into the inner right hip, thigh, into the outer right leg and ankle. As we inhale, lengthen, and as we exhale, allow the body sink a little bit deeper toward the ground. If we feel it going a wee bit more, we can always untuck the left toe and sit all the way back to the heel. But I want you to be really conscious of pressing the outer blade of that right foot into the ground. Relax the head, relax the neck, relax the breath. Softening for 3, for 2, or 1. That left toe can be tucked or untucked. We're going to walk the hands back toward the left knee. So we're sitting either on the foot or the heel, and we're going to tilt that right foot toward the face, turning the body to face that right foot. So hands are either side of the leg now. We're going to inhale, lengthen, and as we exhale, gently fold the body toward the right foot. Again, noticing where we're feeling that in the hamstring. If it's more up near the sit bone behind the knee, just keep the knee soft or don't fold forward too far. So we're inhaling, lengthening, and we're exhaling, folding, leading with the chest, maybe walking the hands forward a little bit more. And again, don't be afraid to go deeper than where I am right now this morning. So your body could be very different in how it reacts to the pose. Softening on each exhale. One more breath. Lovely. We're going to walk the hands back out in front. Gently shift the body weight forward. We'll drop the right foot down, and then we're going to bring that right knee back in to meet left. Readjusting ourselves into our tabletop. Again, just make sure you have enough space there out to your left. We're going to inhale, lift the left foot back. And as we exhale, bring the left foot all the way out to the left. We're going to land it to the ground. Outer blade of the foot presses strongly into the ground. So we're bringing that left foot either in line with the knee or slightly in front if we can. Tucking the right toe under to start with, and we're going to gently send the body weight back toward that heel, and just notice how the left hip responds. So it could be a totally different sensation, listening to your own body here. Walking the hands forward out in front, sinking the body, trying to keep the spine nice and long here so we're not rounding into that upper back, drawing those shoulder blades together. We can stay here, that might be enough. You can always untuck the right toe and sit all the way back to the heel. Sinking the body on the exhale, maybe coming onto the forearms, maybe coming all the way down to the ground. And again, everybody's going to feel different here. So you can go deeper, you can go less. Keep pressing the outer blade of that left foot into the ground, pressing that inner thigh toward the ground. Relax the head, relax the neck, softening into the pose. One more breath. Gently tuck the chin in, slowly walk the hands back toward the knees. So again, you could be sitting on the heel, or you can flatten out the foot here, whatever feels good. My ankle's still a little bit cranky, so I'm just going to sit back onto the heel. Drawing that left toe toward the face, and then we're going to place the hands either side of the left leg so that the body is facing over that left foot. Looking toward the toe. We're going to inhale, lengthen, and as we exhale, gently fold the body toward that left foot. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold a little bit more. Continue here with your own breath. And again, don't be afraid to go deeper than where I'm at. Just go to a place of a nice sense of release. You should be feeling this also into the lower spine. The further forward you fold, the more deep you're going to feel it. And take one more breath. Gently tuck the chin. We're going to walk the hands back out in front. Drop the left foot down and then slowly inhale. And then we bring that left knee back in behind. Coming back into our tabletop. Toes are tucked under, knees, feet, hip width distance apart. We're going to walk the hands a little bit further out in front. Gently sit back toward the heels. We're in a little child's pose variation. Resting the head just for a moment. Feel that space between the shoulders. Melting the heart. Melting the belly. We're going to look back between the toes. Pressing hands and feet into the ground. We're going to lift those hips as high as we can toward the ceiling, coming up onto the tippy toes, and then gently release the heels down toward the ground, coming into our downward dog. Pressing the ground away, see if we can draw the chest a little bit closer toward the mat. Feel that space into the lower back as we press the hips high, lowering the heels. We're going to gently paddle out the feet, allowing opposite heel melt softly toward the ground. Relax the head, relax the neck. Relax the breath. Feel free to give the head a little shake to remind it to relax and just softening into the movement, not forcing it. We're going to look forward between the hands, gently walk our way to the front of the mat. Coming through a lovely wide-legged forward fold. Bring those feet wider than the width of the mat apart. Bringing the fingertips in line with the big toes. And we can use a block here if we find it difficult to touch the ground, or we can bring those feet a little bit further. Toes are slightly pigeon-toed, so slightly inward. Left hand stays grounded. We're going to inhale the right arm up toward the ceiling, opening the heart, gaze follows up. Exhale, forward fold. Right hand stays grounded. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, fold. Continue with your own breath. So the hand that's on the ground is centered in line with the big toes. We're using that hand to create a little bit of leverage to draw ourselves a little bit deeper into the twist. And you'll notice the more we twist, we're going to find that into the inner hip. As we exhale, release, really find that space into the lower back. Weight is back into the heels and hips. So see if we can lift those toes off the ground quite easy. So we're nice and light in the toes. We're following that extended arm with the gaze, getting as much space into the chest, as much space into the spine as we can. We're going to do one more, both sides. Last one. Meeting in a nice relaxed forward fold. Just let everything hang out here, head, neck, arms, shoulders release. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Sigh it out, release. And then gently tuck the chin. We're going to slowly roll away all the way up to stand. Head comes up last. And then we can heel those toes toward each other, meeting at the front of the mat. So again, similar to Tuesday's practice, we're going to start before our flow. We're going to start with a nice little hip release. So again, feet nicely grounded, hip width distance apart, hands to heart. We inhale here. And as we exhale, we're going to step that right foot back to lunge. We bring the left foot parallel. And we're going to splay the feet out at about 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. So getting nice and balanced here. Softening into the knees, we're going to lower ourselves into our goddess squat, but only going as deep as feels good. Notice if the knees are collapsing inward, we want to engage with those hip muscles to open into the hips. So the knees are pointing outward over the feet. So again, adjust the feet as you need. Sending those sit bones toward the ground. We're going to inhale, straighten the legs, bring the arms together overhead, palms together, gazes up. Exhale, bend through the knees, hands to heart, goddess squat. Inhale, lengthen and rise, gaze follows up. Exhale, bend the knees, gazes forward, hands to heart. Continue with your own breath. Create as much space and length on the inhale, and then depth on the exhale. Each time we might get a little bit deeper, listening to those knees. So again, keep checking in. They're pointing over the feet and they're not collapsing inward. So we're really engaging with those glute muscles, those hip muscles. We'll work with the breath. We're inhaling, lengthening, rising, and we're exhaling, sinking, deepening. 3 more. Full control. Mindfully moving into those hips and hamstrings. 2 more. Last one. We're meeting in our goddess squat. Again, we can bring those hands to the ground and we're just going to gently shift the hips side to side. Maybe see if we can straighten the opposite leg, getting a little bit deeper, but again, not forcing it. Keeping the spine long, gazes forward. And then meeting at center, sending those sit bones back. If you feel like coming into your cobbler squat, you can always walk those heels a little bit closer until there's about a foot between the heels. Try to keep the heels grounded and we're going to sit back. So if the heels are lifted off the ground, you can always place a little rolled up towel or part of your mat and then in time reduce that so that we're sending the weight back into the heels and hips. If we're in our cobbler, hands can be to the ground or we can bring the hands to heart and use those upper arms to open a little bit more hip space. Try to keep the spine long, try to keep the heart open. And we're just going to pause here with the breath wherever we are. And again, cobbler is really nice if you're working into tibialis, if you've got shin tightness. And just could even playing around with the weight here, sending it slightly forward, slightly back. See how that feels in the feet and ankles. Breathing deeply for 3. For 2. And 1, hands come back out in front. We'll tuck the chin, pressing into the ground. We're going to slowly straighten the legs, tuck the chin, and roll all our way up to stand. Head comes up last, lovely. And then we'll find ourselves to the front of the mat, and we're going to flow it out for the rest of the class this morning. Meaning at the front, feet nicely grounded, hip width distance apart. Hands to heart. Relax the shoulders, lengthening tall through the spine. We'll inhale both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shin. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge, right hands grounded. We'll inhale the left arm up and open the heart. As we exhale, bend the left elbow. We're going to bring the forearm toward the ground in front. Inhale, left arm up and open. Reach. Exhale, bend the elbow, forearm toward the ground. This can be done with the right knee on the ground. Last one, inhale, left arm up and open. And this time we're going to place the left hand down to the mat. Drop the right heel down, engage the core up into our warrior. Extend the arms, palms face down. We'll soften into the left knee. Inhale, lengthen and rise, straightening that left leg. Exhale, bend the left knee, open the arms, warrior. Inhale, straighten the left leg, arms together, overhead, gazes up. Exhale, bend the left knee, warrior lunge. Last one. Left knee, left foot, point forward, nice and strong. Meeting in our warrior. We're going to inhale, straighten the left leg. Keep it straight, and as we exhale, reach the left fingertips as far forward as we can go. Bring the back of the left hand to the inner leg. Extend the right arm up. Really pressing that right hip forward, drawing the right shoulder back. Take the gaze up for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale the right arm all the way overhead. And as we exhale, bring the right hand down to meet left. Inhale, both arms together, all the way back up. And as we exhale, bend the left knee, open the arms, warrior lunge. Cartwheeling both hands down, either side of the foot, we'll come on to the ball of the right.
Shifting the body weight forward to lift the right foot up to meet left, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping, left foot back to lunge, left hand's grounded. Knee on or off the ground. We're going to inhale, right arm up and open the heart. As we exhale, bend the right elbow. We're going to place the forearm toward the ground out front. Inhale, right arm up and open the heart. Gaze follows. Exhale, forearm toward the ground. Last one, inhale, right arm up and open. This time as we exhale, right hand comes back to the ground. Dropping left heel down. Engage the core up into our warrior. Extend the arms, palms face down. We're softening into the right knee. Right knee, right foot point forward. Left foot parallel to the back edge of the mat. Relax the shoulders. Following that right middle finger with the gaze. We're going to inhale, straighten the right leg. Arms together overhead. Look up. Exhale, bend the right knee. Warrior lunge. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen and rise. Exhale, warrior lunge. Last one. Meeting in our warrior. We're going to inhale, straighten the right leg. Keep it straight. As we exhale, reach the fingertips as far forward as we can go. Bring the back of the hand to the inner leg. Extend the left arm up. Pressing that left hip forward, drawing the shoulder back, looking up. Holding it for 3. Opening those arms wide for 2. And 1. Inhale the left arm all the way overhead, brushing past the ear. And as we exhale, left hand comes down to meet right. Inhale both arms together all the way back up. And as we exhale, bend the right knee, open the arms, warrior lunge. Cartwheeling both hands down either side of the foot, we'll come onto the ball of the left. Shifting the body weight forward to place the left foot up to meet right. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Well done. Take a little drink if you need. We're going to go into a second round with a couple of variations. So when you're ready, kneeling at the front, feet nicely grounded, hip width distance apart. Hands to heart, relax the shoulders, lengthening tall through the spine. We'll inhale both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping, right foot back to lunge, right hand stays grounded. We'll inhale the left arm up and open the heart. Exhale, left hand back to the ground. We're going to soften the right knee down, cushion it if you need. Inhale, both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart as we soften into the hip. Interlock fingers just above the knee. Relax the shoulders, lengthening through the spine. Keep the left knee stacked over the heel. Inhale, lengthen tall. And as we exhale, sink through the hips. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Last one. We're going to stay here. Right hand stays on the leg to the outer side. We'll inhale the left arm up, and as we exhale, gently twist to the left. We'll bring the left arm behind us, looking back toward the thumb, or we might place the left hand to the back outside of the leg. Inhale the right arm up, flip the palm, and as we exhale, reach the right arm to the back of the room, bending deeply into the left knee. So we're really feeling that into the right hip, looking over the shoulder for 3. Reaching through that right arm for 2. And 1. Inhale, arms back wide open. Exhale, twist to the front, hands to heart. We're going to frame the left foot. Coming off the knee, we'll drop the right heel down, engage the core up into warrior. Extend the arms, palms face down. Let's soften into the hips. Left knee, left foot point forward. We're going to inhale, straighten the left leg, arms together overhead, look up. Exhale, bend the left knee, warrior lunge. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen and rise. Exhale, warrior lunge. Last one, nice and strong. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Keep it straight as we exhale, reach the fingertips forward. Bring the back of the hand to the inner leg. Extend the right arm up, look up for 3. Reaching through that right arm for 2. And 1, inhale, right arm all the way overhead. And as we exhale, right hand comes down to meet left. Inhale, both arms together, all the way back up. And as we exhale, bend the left knee, open the arms, warrior lunge. Cartwheeling both hands down either side of the foot. Ball of the right. We'll shift the body weight forward, pick the right foot up to meet left. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center. Hands extended up, palms together. Last side, exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gives forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping, left foot back to lunge. Left hand stays grounded. We'll inhale the right arm up and open the heart. Exhale, right hand to the ground. Softening left knee down. Again, cushion it if you need. We'll inhale both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart as we soften into the hip. Interlock fingers just above the knee. Again, that right knee stays stacked over the ankle. Inhale, press the hands into the leg, lengthen tall through the spine. And as we exhale, sink and release those hips. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Keep drawing the belly in. No pressure into that lower back. With the hips back, we're going to bring the left hand to the outside of the leg. Inhale, right arm up, and as we exhale, gently twist to the right, we'll bring the hand behind us. Looking back toward the thumb, pressing the right shoulder back. We might stay here. We might bring the right hand to the back of the outside of the leg. Inhale, left arm up, flip the palm, and as we exhale, reach the left arm all the way to the back of the room, looking over the shoulder, bending deeply into the right knee, feeling that into the left hip for 3. Nice full belly breaths for 2. And 1, inhale, arms back wide open. Exhale, twist to the front, hands to heart. We'll frame the right foot, come off the knee. We're going to drop the left heel down, engage the core up into our warrior. Extend the arms, palms face down, softening into the hip. Inhale, straighten the right leg, arms together overhead, look up. Exhale, bend the right knee, warrior lunge. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen and rise. Exhale, warrior lunge. Last one. Meeting in our warrior, we're going to inhale, straighten the right leg. Keep it straight. As we exhale, reach the fingertips as far forward as we can go. Bring the back of the hand to the inner leg. Extend the left arm up. Really pressing that left hip forward. Looking up for 3. Opening those arms for 2. And 1. Inhale, left arm all the way overhead. And as we exhale, left hand comes down to meet right. Inhale, both arms together all the way back up. And as we exhale, bend the right knee, open the arms, warrior lunge. Cartwheeling both hands down either side of the foot, coming onto the ball of the left. We'll shift the body weight forward to lift the left foot up to meet right. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center. Hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Well done. Take a little drink if you need. We're going to finish our practice this morning. Either with wide-legged child's pose or frog pose variation. So I'm just going to bring my mat sideways so you can see what I am doing. So you're going to come to the longer edge of your mat. And we're going to set up like we're setting up for a wide-legged child's pose. Now, depending on where the ankles are at, we might need a little towel to place underneath the front of the feet, just to give it a little bit more support. Likewise, we might place a block or a towel out front because our face is going to be there in a moment. So we're just drawing those knees as wide apart as feels good, sitting back toward the heels, getting nice and comfortable into the hips. So if we're choosing to go into wide-legged child's pose, it's as simple as keeping those sit bones back and making a little pillow and resting the head. If you want to join me in our frog pose, so getting a little bit deeper, we're going to walk the hands forward out in front, just until the hips are in line with the knees. So we're not sitting back toward the heels, but likewise, we're not sending the hips forward. So we're putting pressure in the lower back. So when the hips are in line with the knees, we might even draw those knees a little bit wider apart. Coming down onto the forearms. And again, even just shifting the hips forward and back until we feel a nice little sweet spot. And we can stay here. We might walk the hands forward out in front. We might sink the chest toward the ground. Sometimes you can feel a wee bit claustrophobic here with the head if we're going to be holding it here for a minute. So you can always make a little cushion by applying one hand or one fist on top of the other, or use your block. So just make sure the head is supported. So in our frog pose, we can stay here. Again, just feeling that space into the inner hips. If we feel we'd like to go deeper, last variation, we can bring those lower legs out like little frog legs, 90-degree angles at the knees, at the hips and at the ankles. But again, just make sure the feet are on the ground, even if it means sending the weight back or bringing those heels a little bit closer toward each other. So take your time, find your space. So again, frog pose, but easily this can be wide-legged child's pose if frog pose isn't for you this morning. Noticing if you're feeling any pressure in the lower back, I want you to draw the belly button in to take that pressure off the back. I want you to feel that release into the hips. And we're only going as deep as we feel a nice release. I want you to feel that you're sinking into the pose as opposed to holding or resisting the pose. And if we feel that we're holding the pose, just go to an easier variation. And then in time, allow the body go a little bit deeper if it wishes. And again, if you're not feeling it at all, shifting those hips forward and back until you feel that sensation. Nice full belly breaths here, and using that belly breath to access a little bit more space into the hips. Relax the head, relax the body, relax the hands, the feet, the shoulders, the face. So again, if we're holding tension in any part of the body, that tension is going to be transferred into the hips. So I want you to consciously switch off every part of the body and just focus all that energy into releasing into the hips. Relax the breath, relax the body. If at any stage frog pose becomes too much, feel free to bring the heels together, sit back into your child's pose. We're just going to be here for another couple of moments, couple of breaths. Breathing deeply into the belly. Every exhale, allow ourselves sink a little bit more. Head and neck fully relaxed here, nice and easy. Last two breaths. Again, getting as much energy and release as we can with that breath. Last breath. And first things first, if you have chosen to come into your full frog, I'm going to invite you just to soften the knees to bring those feet a little bit closer. Everybody else, we're going to come up onto the forearms. And we're just going to transfer the weight that we've been holding down into the hips, into the forearms. So the pressure isn't on the hips anymore. And at this stage, we might bring those knees a little bit closer until we can at least get the big toes to touch. And then from here, we're going to press the hands into the ground, gently walk them back toward the body until we're sitting back up onto the heels. And maybe shift those knees a little bit closer toward each other. Super careful here, just gently shift the hips side to side, particularly if we have gone quite deep. You don't want to come out too fast, too soon. And when we feel like the hips are ready, they're nice and reset, then we can find ourselves into any comfortable seat to finish our practice this morning. I might invite you to come back into easy cross-legged just to see if it does feel a little bit easier. So hopefully there's a little bit more space. Hopefully there's a little bit more activation around the hips. We're going to sit nice and tall wherever we are. Relax the shoulders, lengthening through the spine. We're going to open the palms. And we'll inhale both arms out, reaching up. Interlock fingers, press palms to ceiling. As we exhale, press the palms forward, release the breath, sigh it out and let it go. And we'll do that 2 more times.
Gently bring the hands to heart, press the palms together, close down the eyes, and just thank yourself for creating a wee bit of space in your morning to come to the mat, to look after yourself, to create some good energy, some nice release, and hopefully take that with you into the day and into the rest of the week. And thank you for sharing your practice and your energy with me. Namaste.